somewhere above the city lights, you're falling in love. Still aware, you know it is true that you
Hi
are
everyone,
lost and
it's
this
David,
is a
and I
clue.
hope you are enjoying
Love is forever.
May Holy Moly, right? I'm actually feeling pretty good about it. You know, the weather's been a little bit of wonky. Everybody I've talked to at different places, it's not quite adding up. A little hotter than it should be or colder than it should be. So a little crazy, you know, and here in the southwest of the United States, you know, it was like chilly, and then it gets uber hot, and the sun feels like it's baking, like microwaving you to death. It's not quite what I remember as a kid being outside a lot. Things seem to have changed quite a bit, but wow, you know, I've got to say that it's nice to feel some energy moving again. So I want you to think with me for a minute. A lot of question we get is, why me? Why am I an empath? The context a lot of times is kind of like, why am I cursed, right? But it's that, you know, why am I an empath? You know, and every time I think about that, I think in terms of, well, what is an empath? And I don't mean like a laundry list of stuff. I mean, when you really think about it, and if you take the pain out of it for a second, a lot of people don't, you know, an empath does a lot of things for the world around them and is designed for that, because we're not trained, because we're not plucked at an early age and said, hey, you look like somebody who's an energy sensitive, let me work with you or teach you like maybe they did, you know, thousands of years ago. You know, we're figuring this stuff out, or refiguring this stuff out again. So whenever I'm asked, or you know, usually it's in a moment of you know, a downer moment, you know, a lot of despair going on, kind of like, why me, right? Like, why am I afflicted by this? And it comes down to, you know, what you can do. So whenever I'm asked that, I'm always, the first thing I ask is, well, what do you think an empath does? So I share that with you today. What do you think an empath does? So I want to throw a couple of ideas at you. So first, you know, an empath cleans. We clear space. So we do that with people. And a lot of times when you're feeling depleted, depressed, or you took this energy on, it was really because you were cleaning the guy next to you, the whole room, the whole hotel, whatever. And you were unaware of that. You were unaware of that kind of process. That's something that just comes with having these gifts. That's not that everybody I've met, that's just what you do. That is part of being here in this form, is to help clean other people. It's not something you can control, and it's not something that you can say, well, I'm not going to do that anymore. That's part of your function. That is part of the function. So I want you to think on that for a minute, that, hey, wait a minute, everywhere I go, I'm kind of cleaning these folks. And you know what I mean. I mean, you've got friends, or you've got kind of folks who come see you not in their best state, and then when they leave, they feel great, and you don't feel so great. So that's what's going on there. You lift this space. This is part of the same conversation, but you're lifting space. And so with mastery and practice, and as you are able to kind of hold yourself here, instead of the room affecting you, you are able to affect the room. And that's a really cool thing. And that, again, is part of why you're here and the process of it all. The idea that you can understand someone else's deepest hurts in nanoseconds, I mean, and really understand it, you have this knowing, right? And you didn't have to live any of that experience. You didn't have to have 10 years before whatever that event happened, and then 10 years after, when you're feeling that person, you're able to almost just completely get that, you know, 20 years in a nanosecond, almost to feel it. And you're coming from an outside in perspective, so as long as you don't have a lot of triggers yourself, that brings up a lot of stuff in you, it becomes information, and you're able to see or witness this information and then be able to share it. So understanding somebody's stuff without you having to personally experience it, but you understand it as if you had, is part of your function. That's part of what an empath does. So I want you to think on that just a minute. And receiving messages for you or for others, that could take the form of dreams, visions, just kind of like prophetic knowings. You get a bad vibe today and something weird happens over there, kind of a thing, a disturbance in the force, and you're able to sense it, that kind of stuff. So that's what an empath does. So whenever I'm asked, is why me? Why me? What did I do? It wasn't what you've done, or maybe it was, but it's out of grace. Everything I've mentioned is about how you can help somebody else. Until you learn how to understand that information and it doesn't affect you in a disempowering way, it's not a gift, right? It sure doesn't feel like a gift, right? But imagine imagine with control and study, imagine your ability to be able to change a room instead of the room changing you. You're not your considerations change, right? Your role change. How you perceive that energy coming in changes. So I share this with you to say that this is about empowering yourself. And so if you ever get in a downer place, if you're ever feeling depressed or out and you're saying, hey, why me? Why did this happen to me? And I know that sometimes happens when you're, circling the drain. I want you to really think about and say, wait a minute. Think of all the things I can do. I want you to say, wow, these are all the things I can do. And once I learn how to do them, wow, you could really not only affect yourself in such a positive way, but so many others. And for some of us who are called for that, that's why you're here. But, for the rest of us, for the day-to-day empath guy who's not here to be a healer or whatever, you're just feeling it, man, and you just want to get through it. I'm sharing this with you to say, man, it's when you met that guy in the elevator and you shared something, you didn't even know why, you just kind of shared it with him, and you knew it changed something. That's you living your purpose. You don't have to have a business card that says that's what you do. Just you doing what you do and being what you are is what you're supposed to do. And all of us have different roles to play, as you know. I'm proud of you, and I want you to know that the reason I'm here is because when I found out that I was an empath, there wasn't as many resources as we have now. And I'm grateful for that, and I want you to know that you're supported and that there are others who have felt like you felt and are finding ways. And so please check out more videos if we can be helpful, and subscribe and all of that. And if you have a comment or anything, please leave it below on how you're feeling about that stuff. And of course, if there's anything we can answer in a video or what have you, just let us know via email or on our website, and or in the comments below, and we'll help however we can. Hope you have a great day, and until next time, be well.